another video on the pasta with vegetables because I've had a brainwave, because I'll crack on. Because I'm hungry and I'm a little bit tired. So, Guanchiale, made it myself. It's very nice. There's a video. So we need the goodness, all those crispy nice bits. I hate it when I do that. We need all the crispy nice bits from the bottom of the pan. So all those bits, those are the bits that I want to go in with here. And then my new method of cooking pasta for pasta alla Gricia, still can't pronounce that because I still haven't looked it up, is to soften the pasta in some warm water, in some boiling water, and then it fits in the pan like that. And then we're going to cook the pasta in a small amount of water in the pan, which is that amount of water there. Sacrilege, I know. If any Italians are watching this, I do apologise, but I am. We'll talk about it as we go along. So I have found that when making things like carbonara and sia di pepe, pronounce that wrong as well, and pasta alla Gricia, the pasta water that you use from the pasta pan, there isn't enough starch in it to properly form the sauce. So the new method that I was faffing around with is to have a small amount of water in the pan and a little bit of fat from the bacon, and then what that does is the starch is a lot more concentrated in the water. So essentially what we're doing is we're kind of cooking the rice in form of a risotto. So all the starch that comes out of the pasta will go into that water and it will form a sauce. There is a danger when you don't use a lot of water to cook pasta that it wants to boil over because of the starch. It starts to form bubbles and it wants to boil over. So the fat from the bacon just stops that from happening. Oil, what was the saying? Oil smooths something water, something like that. Stormy water, something like that. And it's what it's from the Royal Navy apparently. The saying, like most of the sayings in the UK, actually come from either Shakespeare or the Royal Navy. So what we're going to do is we're going to cook that for 5 minutes. So we're going to cook the pasta for about 5 minutes. It's going to take about 10 minutes to cook. Is the pasta? We want it nice and al dente, so we're going to cook it for about 5 minutes in that water. Then, because it makes a much better sauce when you do it this way, I think we'll be able to make we'll be able to throw the vegetables in and be able to make a more creamy sauce. And that's kind of what was missing when I tried to make the spaghetti with vegetables in the past. The sauce wasn't forming properly, which was kind of annoying. But now I think it's down to the starch. There's not been enough starch in the pasta water to form the sauce properly. So there's about 125 grams of guanciale. There's 200 grams of just cheap pasta, supermarket pasta, because I'm all about using cheap ingredients and seeing what we can do with them for the best. Obviously, all my recipes, if you want to buy the best ingredients possible, you just buy the best ingredients possible, and your dish will be improved because of them. But I'm all about buying cheaper ingredients and seeing what we can actually do with them and making them taste as nice as possible. So it's more about techniques and that type of thing. So as you'll be able to see, turn it down a little bit, lots of starch is coming out of that pasta, which is going to form our sauce. So we're going to cook the pasta and then we're going to cook the carrots. There's about 400 grams of carrots. That was before I chopped and did them on the Japanese finger slicer, one of those. And there's about 400 grams of courgettes as well. Just going to make sure you don't use the core of the courgette because it's a bit pappy and it just wants to fall to bits. So it's a bit of a waste, but you can feed that to the animals, or you can make a soup out of it, or you can make a stock out of it, which I've done in the past. So about 400 grams of carrots, 400 grams of courgettes. That was before we prepped them. So lots of that water's coming out. So the carrots are going to release some of their water into there. So I'm reluctant to add any more water. What I'm going to do is I'm going to throw in, well, we're going to put in some salt for a start. That salt, and then we'll put in the carrots. And the carrots will start to steam and they'll release some of the liquid from the carrots into the pasta. This will make the sauce taste even nicer because it'll be like, we'll get all the goodness from the carrots. And then we'll wait a couple of minutes until the carrots just start to soften, and then we'll throw in the courgettes, because the courgettes aren't going to take that long to cook. And the courgettes will get rid of a load of their water into there as well. So it'll be steaming, having a lovely time. We need a little bit of water in there. I'm reluctant to put some in, because the idea is that by the time the pasta, everything's cooked, there isn't much water left. So we don't want it frying on the side of the pan like it's doing there. It should steam, but we'll see how we go. We'll see how we go. Don't know if this will work. I have got another method. I've been swimming, and I was thinking methods while I was swimming, and I was kind of thinking, we'll try this method, and if this doesn't work, then I've got one more method that I can try before I give up for a little while, and then have a hissy fit about it, because I haven't done it, I haven't got it right, and then I'll come back to it in a couple of months when I've had another think. So carrots are so. I don't want to burn myself. So as you can see, I've got the pan, quite starchy, and it's starting to go orange the same because the carrots have leached some of their goodness and flavour and colour out of them. So, quick taste of pasta. It's still very al dente. Too al dente. However, it's not that far off. So let's get the courgettes in, because the courgettes are mostly water. Well, most vegetables are mostly water. It's just that some are a little bit more fibrous than others. It sounds like a line from Orwell. Anyway, so turn it down a little bit. So we'll see how we go. We might need to add some more water, but we'll just see how much. See, that's the 5 minutes of the pasta being halfway cooked. So we'll just see how much water the courgettes get rid of. It's kind of in real time, as I feel. For press record. Yes, we have. How embarrassing. In the kitchen by myself, talking to myself. What do the neighbours think? Absolutely nothing. Because no one cares about anyone else, do they? And what they're up to. Far too busy doing their own thing. Right. Dare risk a little bit of water. Risk it for a biscuit. Just a little bit. Trying to do two things at once and failing. That's better. So, how's it looking? Are you getting rid of your water courgettes? No. It's alright. Give it a taste. Might need to season. Pasta's not there. But we do need to season. Oops. If anything, it's a pretty colour. It's kind of got a little bit of moisture on the bottom. Carry on cooking. I think the vegetables will be cooked. Near enough. Getting there in here. No, don't want any more of that. Let's add more of this fat, because it helps build the sauce. Not too much, not all of it. Right, I don't think we're going to get any more water coming out of those vegetables, so we need some more water in. As always, it's dead easy to add a little bit more. When you're adding things like water, salt, sugar, all those type of things, very difficult to take it away once you've added it. So a little bit of a time is always beneficial. See, it's nice and shiny, which is down to the bacon lard. Still not salt. Not too much though, because we're going to be adding the cheese. It's just the cheapest hard Italian cheese that the supermarkets sell. I guess I'm all about using the cheap stuff. And if we can make things taste better through a bit of skill and a bit of thought, I think that's much more interesting than buying the best quality ingredients. Certainly in these times of austerity. Right, so that's cooked enough. So heat off, because we're going to add the cheese. What happens is the cheese tends to go stringy and split. The fat wants to come out of it if you cook it too much, which is kind of nice when you're doing things, grating things and gratinating them with cheese on top. I'll just stand away for a minute. Not going to put the bacon in yet, because if we've had the bacon at the same time as the cheese will want to stick to the bacon. That's not what we want. We want the cheese to melt with the liquid that's in there and form the sauce. Oh, you see, it's much better. Much better. Yeah, sorry to anyone who's a pasta purist. This is not the way you cook pasta. I'm sorry. A little bit more water. That's much better. Probably could have done with a bit more cheese. That's much better. I'm knocking the camera again. There we go. Right, so this works. I will have a think about it. Well, we'll have another go, and we'll use just olive oil instead of the lard and the bacon, and see if we can make it with olive oil and cheese, and then we can make it vegetarian. We can't make it with lard and make it vegetarian, but we can have olive oil and see if it works that way. So look at that. That looks great, does that? There we go. So, bowl. Put it in a bowl. We'll take a picture. And there we go. That is exactly how I wanted it. Who would have guessed cooking the pasta completely the wrong way was the way to do it? There we go. So, that looks delicious. Look at that. Look at that. Much more nicer sauce. And bacon to the bottom of the pan. So, pasta with vegetables. Video 6, maybe 5, maybe 6. But yeah, that works. We'll try it again. We'll use olive oil. We'll try and make it vegetarian.